Hello there, my name is Chris Williams. I'm the ballroom dance coach and the social dance teacher here at Excelsior Academy, and I've been asked to present a training on authentic assessments within our elective courses. One of the first things that we're going to do is talk about what our goal is as far as authentic assessments. We want to make sure that we understand that our ultimate goal is to be an effective or a highly effective teacher. And when we talk about this process of assessments, we want to make sure that we're using all kinds of assessments, formative, summative, and we're hoping to have the students self-regulate and take on some ownership of their own learning. We want to make sure we use strategies that have been refined, whether it's our own research or research that we can find according to our subject matter. We want to be able to use technology as much as possible, or if at all, and make sure that we are doing assessment practices that are going to benefit the students. We want to make sure that these assessments are returned and promptly and scored efficiently so that our students can receive the feedback in a timely manner and be able to use that feedback for their improvement. That would be for a highly effective teacher. Now, what I want to talk about is, let's talk a little bit more about what, if I can get the slides to work. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a definition of what authentic assessments are going to be like. So I like to think of it as two separate words. Authentic, it's an adjective, meaning genuine, reliable, appropriate, significant, principle, and true to one's character. Now, genuine probably would mean something like what would work for our own specific subject matter. Appropriate, of course, we want to find a way that's going to be appropriate for the student as well as our subject matter. Significance, why am I doing this? We have students that will always ask, whenever am I going to use this in real life? Well, we can make this assessment be more authentic by creating a way that it is going to be significant. An assessment, let's consider it a noun, meaning some kind of an evaluation, a judgment, some kind of appraisal of what it is that they're doing, or some people like to use it as a test. So assessments in middle school electives. Well, let's talk about some things that maybe we've done in the past. Have you done vocabulary tests? Have you done simple multiple choice tests? Have you done fill-in-the-blank quizzes? Have you done exit tickets? Have you done some pre-tests? Well, what of that already works? If it's working, great, keep doing it. But I know as a teacher, especially in dance, I'm always looking for things that maybe didn't work as well as I had hoped it to, and why didn't it work? What format didn't work well? What could I have done to make it a better experience? What are some of the expected outcomes for the assessments? Do we want the kids to be able to just perform a certain task? Do we want them to have a certain skill that they can transfer from one unit to the next? What is our expected outcome? Was some of it good? Hopefully, yes. Was some of it bad? Possibly. Well, what can we do to make it better? So when we talk about authentic assessments in the middle school electives, here's some of the questions that I think we could probably ask ourselves. As teachers, we're always doing assessments of our own abilities and our own units and our curriculum. And so what are the things that we could do to hone in our skill and our craft to make authentic assessments work for our subject? Well, what is it that our students can do? Doing is the way that we can assess what it is they are learning in our class. Can they turn around and do that skill? What kind of ownership or motivation do they have? Is it just because it's a grade, or is there some kind of, of motivation that we can help them have for our subject matter? We constantly get this question, well, when will we ever use this in real life? Well, using an authentic assessment could mean that they're creating something that would be similar or reflective of what they could experience in a real life situation within our subject matter, whether it's dance, the arts, theater, music, any of our electives. What's the connection between their cognitive and their physical skills? Well, what kinds of things are they doing in our classes that are physical, that connect with what they know in their heads? So often they can recite something as far as rote, and maybe they've memorized a pattern, but can they actually physically do the pattern that we've been working on that they know in their heads? How are they going to demonstrate the mastery of their diverse strengths? Some kids, let's say for example in my dance class, they're going to be really smart mentally and be able to memorize very quickly. Other kids are going to be able to produce and do the dance moves easier than others. Well, how can I help them bridge that gap? How can I connect the two? And how can I celebrate the fact that they're using their strengths and have them show me that they've mastered their strengths? And then finally, how is their demonstration going to be fairly evaluated? How can we come up with a rubric? How can we come up with a test form? How can we come up with an answer sheet that is going to demonstrate to them that their execution of this particular skill or unit is going to be evaluated fairly? And what kinds of things can we use to be more across the board fair on their evaluations? So let's talk about a few of the examples that we have as far as authentic assessments. We're going to take each one of these subject matters. We're going to talk about one or two things. Feel free to pause this anytime you want to be able to kind of jot down some notes, brainstorm a few ideas, and keep track of what it is that you would like to do and maybe like to try in each of your classes. So for an art class, for example, you might have the kids do a portfolio, starting from the beginning. Okay, you're going to start by showing me what you can do as far as drawing your favorite animal today. And then throughout your lessons, as you talk about shade, you talk about color, you talk about line, you talk about perspective, and then have them revisit this first attempt at their artwork and keep adding to their portfolio to be able to show the growth that they've been having learning each of these new skills. And then present it at the end saying, this is where I started, this is where I am now, this is what I've been able to learn, and maybe even have them create an artist statement explaining the inspiration, explaining the tools that they liked using the most, or the techniques that they used that maybe spoke to them best. Let's move on to PE. PE, well, could they create a new sport or create a new game and come up with the rules of the game, be able to demonstrate the proper techniques of how to execute this game and how to win the game, come up with the rules, come up with the penalties if they break the rules. Could they teach a particular skill that is going to be used in this game to others and give them an assignment to do something like that? What about for music? Music could be all kinds of things. They could do a performance. They could do a composition of their own works. They could demonstrate, again, with a portfolio type of a situation where they did a video recording of them on the first week of playing their instrument, how possibly awkward it was, or the funny sounds that they were able to make the instrument make. Maybe give them a challenge to create a sound that has never been made before on each of the instruments that they've chosen. Maybe make sure that it's got some rhythmic interest. Are they going to be using harmonies? Is there going to be kind of some kind of a notation where they have to write out the music choice that they've created for themselves? What about in theater? Could they come up with a monologue? Could they write their favorite monologue? Could they find a monologue that they particularly enjoy in an existing work from a movie, an existing play, and perform it? Maybe perform it in multiple different characters, having them use characterization, use physical expression, using the vocal clarity and vocal delivery. And if possible, maybe they're going to use a prop, and how all of that would come together to create an experience. Foreign language. Let's talk about different ways that we can assess them on their vocabulary. Could they create a crossword puzzle or a word search, or could they write an essay, or write even just a paragraph and be able to speak it clearly? What about providing them an opportunity to do an interview with a native speaker of their foreign language? For tech and CTE, maybe we could create an opportunity for them to do a job fair or a job interview. Or if they're really involved in tech, could they create an app that would help somebody do better in their classwork? Those are just some ideas and some possible examples of some authentic assessments. Definitely not a catch-all. Now, here's some challenges that we're probably facing, and you're probably feeling right now as you go through this. This is so overwhelming. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. There isn't enough time in the school year or in my day to be able to take care of all of these different things. I can't think of everything at once. How am I supposed to do this with all of that and still get my curriculum taught? Isn't what I'm already doing working well enough? I think we've got a pretty good system going on in my classes. Maybe I don't need to think about this. Does this mean that there's even more work for me? Well, I want you to just kind of calm down for a little bit. Take a deep breath. Here's how we can get started. Sit back, relax, and just think about what's already working well with your students. I'm sure you can find ways that you could, and things that you're already doing in your classes that works great for your students. Congratulations. What else can we do? How about we sit up, engage, and now let's think about what our students struggled with. I'm sure we can come up with situations where not every single one of our students succeeded. Well, why? What could we do to make it better? Let's reflect and ask ourselves some questions about this situation. Was it something in the learning? Was there not enough practice time? Was there not enough performance time? How did my teaching go? And then let's research some of these questions and determine what some of the next steps are. Start with one good idea, one objective, one topic, one lesson, one assignment, one class period. And start with just one. Then create an authentic assessment for yourself of this new approach. See what works. See what doesn't. Rework it. And then, like it says at the end, lather, rinse, and repeat until we feel like we've got something that we can start with. Authentic assessments give our students the opportunity to apply the knowledge and skills that they're acquiring in our classes to real-world, meaningful tasks and situations, demonstrating what they can do with what they have already learned. When I did my master's program in education, one of the philosophers was named John Dewey, and he said, "What we want and need is education, pure and simple. It is for this purpose alone that I have emphasized the need for a sound philosophy of experience. Let's give our students experience in what it is we're doing to round out their education in our arts And thanks for attending.